Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today on this episode of the podcast, I'm going to kind of walk you around my truck, and I am literally going to point out all of the super budget-minded stuff that I carry on me all the time that I use for all my overlanding trips. So the intention with this episode is to give you some ideas for really inexpensive, easy to find stuff on Amazon that you could use for your trips. So let's dive into my rig, walk around it, and find all the Amazon purchases that are really budget oriented that you might find interesting or that might be able to improve your trips.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys. So again, if you are on the podcast, I'm going to describe everything. I'm going to put links in the description down below to everything that I mention in this video, and I'll put them in order of when I mention them so that they're really easy to find. But I will walk you around the truck and show you kind of everything that I've gotten off Amazon that have made my trip better. So first of all, up front here, I have got these Co-Lite ditch lights. These things were really inexpensive. Like I think they're like 40 bucks a piece. Like I think the pair was 80 bucks, and they're super, super bright. They work great. They have no condensation in them. They've been on the truck for a couple years now. So for the money, they've actually been really great. Like I know that there are way more expensive brands that are definitely better lights, and we all get that, but I think it's tough to find inexpensive lights that are actually decent quality. I kind of lump Oxbeam into this category. Co-Lite is another one. Novesight has been pretty good for me historically. So those are kind of some of the brands, but again, these Co-Lites I'm really super impressed with. Next to that, you're going to notice this little ghost antenna. That is from my Midland MX275. Now they also have an updated version of this GMRS radio called the Midland MXT 575. That's a more powerful radio. I'll put links to both of these in the description below. I probably will update to the 575 at some point, but the 275 has been fine, which is why I haven't upgraded. It's been just fine. My friends and I can communicate a couple miles apart, and it works great when we're on trips together to be able to communicate. So, and that thing goes for a couple $100, so it's not too bad. 250 bucks maybe for that radio, but then you can hard mount it in your vehicle. I actually have mine just sort of sandwiched in between the seat here and the center console. And then I have the mic up here. And then I actually bought a magnetic mount, which I'll also link to, that I love because it just makes removing the mic and talking into it and then reattaching it super, super easy. Now, another thing that you can buy on Amazon, especially if you are a Nissan Frontier person, is these off-roam mounts. They don't require any drilling. They work with a stock 2022 Plus Frontier, and they're awesome. They're about 70 bucks, I think, for both of them. Then I bought this little arm separate and this little Ulanzi quick release thing that I use for a phone mount that I can throw on a tripod or on this, so it gives me some flexibility. But these little mounts, if you're a Frontier person, are great. Now, if you're not a Frontier person, I think they make stuff for other vehicles too. So just look at the link below and then find one for your vehicle, and that should help. Now, also in here is the Garmin Overlander. Honest, true feedback on this thing. I love it because it is an off-grid GPS unit. So it does work when you're out in the boonies and you don't have cell reception, which is my favorite thing about it. The bad thing about the Overlander specifically is that you basically have to kind of like hook it up to your computer to transfer GPX files on and off of it, or coordinates on and off of it. And I have a lot of trouble getting that thing to connect to my computer. They have a new version called the Tread, which you can connect to wirelessly, and that's far superior, but I think it's like $1,000 plus. And I think the Overlander is like $600 or $700 now. So it's very expensive, but if you want something that you can use when you're totally off grid, you have no cell reception, and that you can kind of make a dedicated unit, I really like this thing. I mean, you can store trips, elevation, it will store all the data, it will track all your maps, it'll track your speed. So it does keep a great deal of information in it. And again, I use it when I'm like out on a trail that I've never been on before to track everything so that I can go back and revisit it later. So if you've got a big budget and you're thinking, you know what, this would be great, you could get that, but I wouldn't necessarily call it budget if I'm being completely honest. Another budget thing that I got off Amazon is this T-Lapse roof rack for the Frontier. Again, they make them for different vehicles. It is pretty inexpensive. It is, not the nicest quality metal, but if you're looking for something just to be able to strap some stuff to, or to put like a WeBoost antenna or something on, throw some gear up there from time to time, then I think for the money, it's perfectly fine, right? Because the alternatives to this are Nismo or like a CBI or something like that you're talking $800 to $1,000 probably for a cab rack. Now, again, they make these for other vehicles. This isn't necessarily just for Frontier people, but if you're a Frontier person, definitely will apply to you. Another thing that you can get on Amazon that has been super budget priced, I don't know with the tariffs if these are going to go up a little bit, but this top oak awning is actually really, really nice, and it's about $4.99. It has built-in lights. It has really nice, easy to attach ratcheting straps that pull it taut and make it really easy to set up, and it's a full 270, so it covers the entire side of my truck and then all the way around to the back. If it was raining or something, I would probably have this thing out, but since it's so sunny, I just haven't opened it. But that thing is fantastic. I've been really happy with it. Now, again, keeping it budget here, I'm going to ignore the IceCo because this is a pricey fridge, but there are some less expensive IceCo options online. I had the JP50 for years and years, ran it externally in the bed of my truck, getting rained on, snowed on, all that stuff, and it was bulletproof. It ran forever, and then I sold it to a buddy, and he's running it to this day. It's been probably 5-6 years, and that thing is just bulletproof. So definitely recommend that for sure. And I will put a link to the JP50 because this is a little bit more expensive, trying to keep it budget-minded for you guys. Another budget-minded thing is these leveling blocks. These are about $35-$40. They come with a bag. I just keep them in here loose so that I can get them out more easily. But again, to have these just always in the truck, in my drawer system, in the back, out of the way if I don't need them. But if I do need them, they're just like big Legos basically, and then you can drive up on them to level your rig out. I don't have to find rocks or find any like exterior stuff to use to level my rig. I can just use these leveling blocks. Has been really awesome. And again, for $40, I've had these things for years and I just keep using them, and they're great. Another thing, and it's actually set up over there, is this Bouge RV lantern. This thing is pretty reasonably priced, and it puts out a ton of light. It will light up your entire campsite, and it's pretty budget priced, and I really, really like it. And it folds down small, about the size of a water bottle. It basically fits in this bag, which is awesome. Another thing that is pretty budget priced, and it's kind of funny, is this urinal. So sorry, ladies, if you're watching, but when you're up in your tent and you've had a couple beers and you don't want to get out in the middle of the night and climb down, climb up, you can use a Gatorade bottle. So you can be even more budget. But this thing is meant to be a urinal. It has a nice sealed lid, so you're not going to have any spills. It's got a handle on the top, so it makes it easy to use. It's got a big wide mouth, so it's easier to get your pee into. But something like that, just thinking through things that you need instead of struggling with it and constantly climbing down from your rooftop tent and having to go off and pee and come back and climb back up all the time, multiple times a night. You can solve those problems with some budget-minded gear like this urinal. Another thing is this bag that I've got back here. I'll put a link to this in the description below. I use this for all my cooking stuff, and I love this thing. It's got a bunch of different pockets and stuff in it. It's got a ton of ways to store stuff. I keep all my propane, my Jetboil Genesis goes in here, all my silverware, all my cooking materials, all of my utensils and stuff go in this bag. And it comes with a bunch of sort of like these smaller packing bags, so you can also separate your stuff out and keep your stuff nice and organized. And that thing was like $60-$80 for that whole bag, and I love it. I use it all the time. It's got all my cooking stuff, so I can keep it all in one place, nice and neat and organized. Now, another thing is this TMAT. I love this TMAT. You can get this for an entire truck bed. I kind of custom made mine to fit around the fridge up here on top of the drawer system, but they've got these removable pieces here basically that fit into these little X plugs, and then you can use that to customize your storage. So like right now I have this chainsaw in here that's sort of sandwiched in here, but that keeps it from sliding around in the bed. I think for most vehicles it's like $350 to $400, so it's not super inexpensive, but I mean, to completely change the bed of your truck and make it super usable for all different kinds of gear and different containers and boxes and stuff, it's super useful. Another thing to point out are these quick fists. So I have an extrusion overland bed rack. I love it. But to add some functionality to it, these things are really inexpensive, like $15-$20 for a pair of them. And I use those to throw my axe on the side, a shovel if I need it. You can use this for all kinds of gear to just mount it wherever you want. It could be on a bed rack. It could be, in the bed of your truck. There's all kinds of things that you could use these quick fists for, and they're super budget minded as well. Moving around to the passenger side, this all-top Overland bathroom tent is awesome. There are a bunch of different options like this. I'll give you this one or a similar one if this one's not available anymore. But it's basically just, it folds out from the side and drops down. And then you've got a complete privacy. It has a built-in light. It has a roof over top of it. And it gives you privacy to go to the bathroom, to change your clothes, to take a shower, whatever you want. It's built into the truck. And it was about, I think I paid about $150 for it. So to have that kind of functionality just always on your rig, always ready to go when you get somewhere on a trip is really, really nice. And then you can just pop it out and you've got privacy. All right, so for a couple of last items that are pretty budget priced and I really like, I've got this little bug zapper. It's a portable rechargeable bug zapper that works surprisingly well, especially after dark. You can kind of see it glowing purple there. It attracts all the bugs in, and then it has wire wrapped around it, and when they hit it, it goes zzz, and it just works like a regular bug zapper, but it's rechargeable. So you can recharge it off USB-C. I think this thing costs like $30, but I use it all the time in the spring and summer, and it's just great. It's also a lantern, so if you want light, you could use it for that as well. Now, my Helinox chairs are not exactly what I would call budget. They are pretty on the higher line as far as cost goes for a chair, but I will say budget doesn't always mean cheap, right? And what I mean by that is I've had a ton of cheap chairs and they lose a bolt here or there, or things fail on them, and then all of a sudden your chair is useless, or it's rusty, or it's squeaky, or it just doesn't work anymore. Whereas these Helinox chairs, this one I've had for probably 4 or 5 years now, and it is great. I mean, it's still super comfortable. I have no problems with it. It's as good as it was the day that I got it. It's a little dirtier than it was when I got it, right? But this thing is just great. So for 150 to 180 bucks for a chair, yes, it's on the pricier side, but I would argue again that cheap isn't always cheaper, right? Like if you get this chair and you can keep it forever versus going through a chair every year or two, you're going to save money in the long run and have a better experience because you've got that high quality chair that you can use on your trips. And then sort of last here, this all power power bank. I actually love this thing. It's about 500 watt hours. It's about 500 amp hours. And it is great because it's small enough that it doesn't take up a ton of room. It has enough plugs that I can use it to recharge my phone. I can use it to recharge small devices, my chainsaw batteries, things like that. I can even run my Starlink off of it for quite a while. But it's not super expensive. This thing was like $300, I think. So it's really inexpensive, but it does all the things that you would basically need a complete dual battery system for, plus an inverter, plus, you know, all the wiring and all the skill to wire that stuff up. Whereas this thing, even though I have a dual battery system in my truck, I bring this thing with me on pretty much every trip, just because like right now I'm sitting at camp and I want to charge my phone, or I want to throw it on the top on the wireless charging, or I want to, you know, charge up my chainsaw batteries, for example, or I charged my bug zapper earlier today on this thing. And it's just great to have something that's so portable and all inclusive that has all the plugs and stuff and the inverter built into it. So saves you time and saves you money and just makes your life easier. All right, guys. So that is the sort of walk around the budget modifications, the budget gear that I've bought off Amazon that I've carried on my truck forever, basically. So I hope that some of those give you some good ideas, or maybe, you know, spark some interest. Again, I'll put links in the description down below so you can find whatever you're looking for really easily. If you have any questions, post up in the comments below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, there are links in the description below to all my social channels. So wherever you want to come hang out, I'm happy to chat with you, answer any questions that you've got. I'd love to have you over there. There's also a link to my website where I've got funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers, things like "Don't burn your wiener and it's a hot dog," or "I hate people so I camp." So if you're into that stuff, you want stickers and patches, all things overlanding stickers and patches, check that link out. If you're on YouTube specifically, there's a join button below this video, which just kind of gives you early access to the videos and some other perks, and it's just a passive way to support the channel. If you want to be more involved with all things overlanding, there's a link to my Patreon page where we've got a 24/7 Discord. We have a once-a-month Zoom call, and we are getting together once or twice a year, so it's been a ton of fun. Now, if you're listening on the podcast, of course, add it to your favorites. Leave a 5-star review. That helps a ton, and I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the content. And then last but not least, there's a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. This is a totally free to join group. Tons of awesome people in it. If you're there to learn, that's great. If you're experienced and you want to help new people get into overlanding, that's also a good fit for you as well, and we'd love to have you. But thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.